Hey, all right, let's come home now and talk Taekwondo, talk about the Nigeria Taekwondo Open, the 2019 edition, and of course, 15 countries have scaled the hurdle. They have been able to beat the deadline and confirm participation in this year's event. It's a very good one. We have top names in the sport making it. And we also have some early arrivals, you know.
Saudi Arabia, the Americans were the ones to actually arrive very, very early. It's going to be a 3-day tournament. And of course, for the athletes participating, especially Nigerian athletes, they're talking about how this will definitely help them. They want to see how they can dominate the foreigners. And it's going to be difficult. The likes of Michael Akonde, Abdullahi Adegoke are those ones who feel, okay, they can actually, you know, come here and put in their best in the Nigerian Open. But we know how hard it's going to be for them, knowing that, well, these foreigners who usually come in will just want to come and claim everything. Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, DR Congo, France, Gabon, Ghana, you have Mali, Niger Republic, Saudi Arabia, of course, I mentioned that earlier, Senegal, Togo, USA, all those teams that will be competing starting on the 8th to 10th of this month. And for Nigerian athletes, they're really ready to want to see compete with the best. And once they compete with the best, they know that, yes, they will be able to be at the top when it comes to international tournaments. Let's move over to Abuja now and talk to Chika Chukwumerije. What are the plans for this year? How different will it be for the previous ones? And the countries are already on ground, and Nigerian athletes are ready they are for this championship. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning. Good to be on the program.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. Now, tell us what we need to know about this championship.
Oh, it's a really big one for the Nigerian Taekwondo community because, of course, you know, the Federation has existed since 1987, but this is the first time ever we're getting a Taekwondo event in Nigeria that is ranked by the world body. There's a big one for us. When you talk to the there's a lot of excitement. Many of them say they've never met foreigners. They don't have money to go out for other World Taekwondo events. So they're really happy that they can host it right here. And they've promised that they're going to get one over the foreigners that are here. USA arrived yesterday. Saudi Arabia is meant to arrive today. Mali already arrived in Lagos. They're on their way to Abuja right now. Cote d'Ivoire left yesterday. And I spoke with Niger Republic. So they said they are leaving this morning and they expect to arrive by tomorrow. Togo should also arrive tomorrow, Togo. So we're having a lot of incoming guests, and we started setting up yesterday. So today there's going to be a flurry of activities at the event to make sure that we can properly host the world. So there's a lot of expectations. Of course, when the countries come to Nigeria, they expect to see something colorful, they expect to a good atmosphere. I want to make sure that we give them that when they arrive.
Okay, Chika, let me quickly ask you this. I have two questions actually, but let me start with one because of what you said last. Some countries have beat the deadline. Are we expecting more, or is it just those 15 countries, I think, that have been able to beat the deadline for the event?
I mean, the 15 countries, there are 152 participants. I think 120 of them athletes. But I must tell you, we expected 8 countries. That was the benchmark we set for ourselves, to get 100 athletes from 8 countries, because it's very expensive for athletes from this part. They say, oh, the registration fee, we can't do this. But I had to argue that, look, you have to do it, because if you're going for this same kind of tournament in the US or in Europe, you're going to have to pay for your flight ticket, and their registration fees are much higher. So we made sure we made our arguments all across, and so we doubled our target from 15 countries. We now have, from 8 countries that was the target, we now have 15 countries that registered, and from 100 athletes that we targeted, we have much more than that. So I think we're very happy with this first edition, and we know that by the next edition we'll push to make it bigger. But I must say this: why it's important to have a good event is, we want to see how we can convince World Taekwondo to also try and rank some of our other events. Of course, you know, you have the Lagos Classics, you have the Korean Ambassadors Cup, And these are really, really good tournaments.
Okay.
So if we can make a good impression, the World Taekwondo delegate is flying in from France in 2 days. So when she comes, she want her to send back a good report after this event, saying, look, technically they were good, logistically they were good, and we feel that Nigeria has the ability to even have more ranked events. So this is what we're going to do.
Okay. Let me also say this. I've read about it, and it's good to hear from the horse's mouth. Let's talk about an innovation that you guys are trying to bring into this, ensuring that the fans get a feel. You know, we hear that those fights will be live on YouTube. Talk to us about this innovation to ensure that people are carried along and we get to see all of these fights.
Yes, you know, this is a new generation. This new generation, they live online so much. They're always on social media, and we feel that, look, if you want a bigger audience, then you have to bring the event to people right in their homes. Not everybody can make it to Abuja, maybe their schedules or funding or whatever. So the IT team, they said, look, hey, why don't we bring this live on YouTube and on Facebook? So it was funny because throughout yesterday, they've been trying to test and set it up. They've gotten all the accounts set up. So today they're going to try out all the cameras and all the softwares and see how it goes. Right now, we're having a bit with the strength of the network, but by today and tomorrow, we should sort it out so that anybody who wants to follow the tournament from across the world can be part of this edition. So we're very excited about that innovation.
Okay, we're glad about that too. And another one is Nigerian athlete talking about, one of them, Michael Akonde, has been talking about the fact that, look, they don't want the foreigners to come here and go away with all the medals. You are the technical director of the federation. What have you guys been doing to put so much confidence in these athletes?
By hosting this tournament, that I think in itself speaks for itself, because when you look long term, this year is actually the year for the All African Games. And I'm sure official campaign will start later in the year. So we thought this tournament is perfect because some of the people they are going to meet in the All African Games are going to be here. And I rather clinch the gold at the All African Games than them win the gold here. So if they win it here, it's good because, I mean, you feel good, you're at home, you don't want to come, and they beat you right in your home. But whatever happens is positive because if they beat these guys, they have the confidence they're going to repeat it again in 6 months when it really counts. But if by any chance they lose, then we, the technical team, we're going to have videos to replay and watch very much to make sure it happens. And don't forget that we have there's an African Championships in Morocco in April. So this is a good starter for them. So we're talking with them. We're telling them you can do this, that the only reason they're more highly ranked by you is that they are in their country, they do more tournaments like this, and they go out more for tournaments like this. This is the only reason why they are more highly ranked. And I use myself as an example to them. I told them that during my career, I beat 2 world champions, Modibo of Mali and Grinovic of Netherlands. I beat them while they were world champions. So they had the number 1 or number 2 ranking or whatever, but I still got to beat them. And I remember that 2 years ago when I was looking at the ranking, then the top 10, I had met 7 of them and I had defeated 6 of them. And at that time, my ranking was just, I think, 30-something in the world. And I also told them that, look, I didn't have the ranking, but if I could beat 6 out of 10 in the top 10, it really tells you that it's just that we didn't used to go out as much, but we're just as talented, just as good. So we hope to give them this kind of exposure more so that it can increase their confidence.
What's the training program like for all the teams, all the athletes that actually are for the Taekwondo Federation? The training programs that you guys have actually mapped out to ensure that these athletes are always ready whenever they have competitions like this?
Well, we intend to call, in March, we're going to have our national trials. Of course, you know, like the sports festival we're going to invite some of the winners from there but we don't want to just give automatic tickets. We want them to be informed. So after the national trials, we're going to do like a 3-week national camp and see their current form. And we'll keep repeating this intermittently until the main camp is called, you know, because in the end, it really boils down to funding. So what I tend to do is that the top athletes in the country, the ones that were the former national team, I always call up on them to check up on them to know what's their training program like, how is their fitness level, and to encourage them where we can. But in all honesty, they need to be in one place. I mean, just like this under 7 Eagles that they traveled or whatever, they were together for 6 months. So Taekwondo, we need that kind of arrangement. But honestly, right now, we don't have the resources to say, okay, you guys, we're going to put you together for 6 months. So we're going to do like a 2-3 weeks camp every few months so that we can get them together, know their fitness level. And we're also going to do a lot of competitions, little competition every other month, like every couple of months, so that they can be fighting regularly. Because Taekwondo is a combat sport. You have to fight. It's not about running or gymming. In the end, it depends on how you can engage in the ring.
Okay. Please indulge me, Chika. I'm curious. I want to ask you this. You talked about during your time beating, you know, people that were in the top 10 in the world at that time. I want to ask, can any Nigerian taekwondoist aspire to be #1 without traveling out of the shores of this country? Is it possible? And as a technical director, you would know, is it possible to keep them here and they be world beaters, or at some point they just have to leave the shores of Nigeria? Quickly.
One, it's possible to keep them here and they become world champions. But it's not possible to keep them here and they become #1, because to become #1, you have to compete in the World Taekwondo ranked event and get points. But can you actually train someone if you have a good training program? I mean, Korea, they don't go out so often. They do a lot of in-house competitions, and they always come out in a very good place internationally. Nigeria, we have the numbers. In the last sports festival, when we did the National Sports Festival, I think after athletics, we had the most number of registered athletes, so almost 320. So we have the capacity actually to develop world beaters here, but we're going to need a lot more resources, a proper national training center and all that.
All right. Chika Chukwuma, I really want to thank you for your time, and wish you all the best in all that you're doing with the Federation. All right, as the technical director of the Nigerian Taekwondo Federation, bearing his mind on the upcoming tournament. Let's go on a break now. When we return from that break, we'll be discussing the National Sports Festival and a whole lot of sports this morning. John Skip.